Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside. Let me find my notes here. And welcome to Esoteric Influences for the 4th day of August 2020. Well, I hope everybody got to get outside yesterday. It was beautiful here on the high desert. And the chemtrails are strangely missing in the sky these days. Isn't that amazing? I wonder what that's about. Anyway, structural concerns are on our mind today with the 4 energy. The 4 is really representative of material concerns, foundation. Think the 4 pillars of a building, or the 4 corners of a building, the 4 pillars of the witch. Well, anyway, think about the watchtowers, calling the quarters. Anyway, things we do before we work magic. I don't know. Anyhow, structural concerns are in play today as we find common ground with others, move around obstacles and challenges and collaborate with others on a new path. This is going to be probably bleed right into Gebo, so we'll move right into Gebo. The 7th rune of the Elder Futhark, it's an X energy. And I've exploded this before for folks, especially if you see somewhat daily tarot and rune. I do this. I look at what the basic other runes that are contained within the rune itself. And here we just have Kenaz that's really exploding in all directions here. So the light of spirit is what is the definition of Kenaz. And so spirit is basically invoking everywhere in terms of this shared experience with others. It's our default state when we're not in physical form. So I think that it's easy for us to understand that flow of energy to one another. But truly, it's the light of spirit that's making that happen. It's higher self that's doing that. So we're going to, the meaning of it, I'll go over that first before I tell you the interpretation. It's a water element rune. It's balanced energy exchange with others. The link between forces, marriage, partnership. It traditionally means the gift. But it also means reciprocity. And really, reciprocity, especially these days, is a true gift, is it not? To do that without expectation of from anyone else, just to be giving of yourself and your time and your input, especially right now when things are so challenging. A lot of worries right now over structural concerns, family, health, healing, security. The health and healing and security of our children in particular, now that the lunatics want them to go back to school. The schools can't possibly keep people safe. I saw a little picture of, they sent them back to school and there they all were. And if it wasn't something that was photoshopped to make a point, then all the kids in the classroom had no masks on, sitting in their normal desks the way they sit, Not going to work. It's just not. But in any event, excuse me, we're to engage in a balanced manner with others today and respect individual choice, but do stay protected if out and about today. In other words, try to give the gift of reciprocity today to others and understand that a shared direction is required now, especially if you're still confused about whether or not you should wear a mask when you go out. I still do the surgical gloves and the mask. So does my husband. We spray everything down. We wipe it all down when we get home. I don't know. I'm going to do that until, the virus isn't everywhere. I'm just going to do that. I don't know. It's the choice that we've made. And I think that there's going to have to be a line drawn with that, especially in terms of respecting individual choice. I think that while you don't want to get into it with anybody because they tend to get violent when you do, still give them a wide berth and get away from them. Just make it obvious. You got to get away from them because they're not safe. So everybody in a grocery store aisle vanishes when someone comes in. It's like, okay, we have to go now. Clearly this person doesn't, and you got to keep the chatter to yourself. I think that too many people are acting extraordinarily aggressively to the point of hitting people, not just coughing on them, but hitting them, striking them, committing a crime. In other words, they can be arrested for it and are being arrested for it. If it gets stuck on Twitter, what did I see? Yes, sir. CSI Twitter, do your thing. Figure out who this person is. They can't hurt people this way. And that's what's happening. this us versus them thing has become so strong that it makes it difficult to have reciprocity with others. But, you know, at least keep it within yourself, and don't engage with folks that aren't doing this, because like I say, we've all seen it if we've been online. They're becoming violent, and they've been violent, and now it's getting real personal. So be very, very careful today, and going forward for the foreseeable future. Today, the moon transitions from Aquarius to Pisces, but not until about 7:30 this evening, my time. So 7:28 Pacific Daylight Time. That's in the evening, not in the morning. The Aquarian independence and discomfort with emotions transitions into emotional Pisces in the evening, when it may become easier to express compassion to others. Aquarius can, I had a best friend who was an Aquarian, and she was she had a lot of empathy for other people. So there might have been some other things that were sort of, you know, cushioning that for her. But some Aquarians I've known, very innovative, very eccentric though, and so they may come off as aloof. They may not be so comfortable with emotions. So it's interesting, you know, that the next sign is one that's more emotional. So you experience both sides of the equation throughout the zodiac, back and forth, you know. At least it seems like it. It's probably not quite that simplistic, but it just kind of seems energetically where you have one where you're either building on the same energy maybe in another form, or it's kind of an either or, inner versus external, you know, an inner focus versus an external focus. But in any event, a semi-square between the moon and Chiron today suggests that the transition to Pisces may involve setting boundaries both with the self and others. You may have to just define the interaction for yourself and define your own space right now. So just be aware of that. Moving on to the human design part of the reading, the channels of awareness and openness continue to be active, but we've added another one today, synthesis, which is sensitivity to others. And so those seem to be the underlying energetic channels today as we let go of what no longer serves in order that we achieve progress or success. Look past your own issues in service to a shared purpose with others. There's some Gebo influence there. If in a position of leadership with others today, express that authority without expectations. This is a difficult time for people, and so you've got to allow for a little wiggle room on that shared path with others. Take a pragmatic approach as well as an egalitarian one to avoid alienating others, particularly if you're in some kind of a leadership role with others today, not just somebody, but others. Understand that I guess the point is understand that we're all in this weird place right now, even those folks that haven't quite figured out what they need to do vis-a-vis the virus, vis-a-vis staying safe around people, or even having that concept. I think a lot of people have just thrown caution to the wind, and maybe they always have throughout this. I don't know. But they're not being as vigilant, and I don't know why. So I think that it's too risky right now. I think that the virus is still out of control, and it's not getting under control. So the most important thing that you do now is to just stay as safe as possible from it. We don't have anything to heal it, or to reduce the symptoms in a therapeutic. We don't have that yet. We're just doing what we can on our own, you know, and it's probably not enough, but it's all we can do right now. And in a sense, it's all we can do right now energy that's sort of guiding all of us right now, that are at least trying to stay on this shared path together. The rest of the folks, I really don't know what to do for them, other than to just, you know, model the behavior you want to see, and maybe over time they'll figure it out. But I don't know. I just don't know. They may never, and we need to be prepared for that. It's a very harsh time when you have somebody in charge that doesn't know how to be in charge, and who guides people based on grievance. You know, there's a new Jonathan Swan did an interview with the impeached one in the Oval Office, and asked him what he thought of John Lewis. And I'm not even sure he really understands who John Lewis was, and what he did for this country by his service and all that he was part of, marching with Martin Luther King. I mean, all of it. I don't think he really understands the impact of that. Because he was only concerned about the fact that I don't really know him. He didn't come to my inauguration. He didn't come to my State of the Union speech. See, it's all about him. It's not about who this man was and the impact that he had on other people. He can't move out of the grievance mode. And that's not a president. It can't be. You're never going to have everybody vote for you. You're always going to have people that really don't like you. It's just what happens. You're still their president too. So you try to reach them. You don't try to, harm them or try to say, well, you don't matter. That's not what a president does. And so you try to find common ground with everybody, even those who disagree with you. And so that because let's face it, Congress is going to be like that. You're always going to be working with people that don't agree with you and want to see someone else in that chair. So I think that you have to be able to do that. And I think that the impeached one in the Oval Office is giving us a clear window into what not to do, if nothing more, to get to what not to do to one another at this time. The intrinsic need for some of these folks to harm others, that's the only solution, to be as provocative as possible. And if you don't like it, I'm going to beat you for it. That's what I'm seeing out there. And it's so odd. So, keep your own counsel today, understand the shared experience with Gebo, but at the same time, if others aren't on board with that, give them a wide berth and don't engage with them. It's really coming down to that, I think. Someone's angry. I saw a thing where a guy came in and was yelling at a Burger King guy and hit the guy across the face as he walks out. He turns around and walks out. He's, I guess, from what they've said, he's been fired from his job. I don't know if it was before or after that, but either he had just been or he was after that or something. But I guess there's some arrests. He was arrested. There's some charges now. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. People are out of control. And, one held somebody, I think at a cigar shop or something, at gunpoint, held the cops at gunpoint. Oh, but, he was a white guy. So, he's just having a hard time, dealing with the virus. And then you see a group of, 4 or 5 black kids under the age of 18, I guess, be pulled over. They were out. I think they were family, and at least the initial reports of this it happened in Colorado, and they're looking for supposedly a motorcycle, right? That's stolen. So they pull over a minivan and they get these kids out on the ground, face down, 5 cops, gunpoint. Oh my Lord. They don't learn, do they? They really don't. So this is the kind of energy, though, that's out there right now. Energy that doesn't learn, energy that wants to be in conflict, that wants to be provocative. So try to, I don't know what they could have done to stay safe other than maybe stay in their house, but I don't even know that they're safe there. Not anymore. So this is what the whole social thing is all about right now. This is why people are marching. For this right here. So foolish, foolish, foolish. And they scared the crap out of little kids. One was like 6 years old. Yeah. On the ground, face down, guns drawn. Nuts. Anyway, try to have a good day. Stay as safe as possible and be good to yourself. Be good to one another. And blessed be.